Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel where we talk about all things Facebook ads. My name is Sydney Switzer and today I want to show you in depth how I would go about testing inside of a Facebook ad account that's spending at least $200 per day across the entire account. I'm going to bring you through kind of step-by-step best practices, but do keep in mind that this is kind of based on my personal experience. I feel like every media buyer kind of has their own way of doing things. And even after talking to some meta marketing pros, they too also believe it's kind of dependent on what you prefer to do and what you like to do. So take my learnings, watch other creators, take their learnings, and decide which you like best. But this tutorial about testing your Facebook ads is really structured around an account that's spending at least $200 US per month. So let's dive right in. So first I want to explain the structure that I like to have. So at the campaign level, I like to have two separate campaigns. One that is core, and ideally this one doesn't get touched that much until we find new creative tests that perform well, and then we put them into our core campaign, which we'll get into a little bit after. And then we have a campaign that is designed solely for testing. Now inside of this testing campaign, we're gonna have an ad set, and this ad set should be broad. So when you go into the targeting options, I pretty much leave literally everything open. I leave a gender, location, make it as large as possible. So if you can target the whole country, target the whole country. If you're targeting a more local area, choose the largest mile radius as possible. Obviously make it realistic if someone's actually gonna come that far to use your service, but make it as large as possible. And this is a best practice recommended by Facebook to go broad. I do see some creators, they talk about, testing out an interest base versus a broad. I prefer to test creatives with a broad audience. This is gonna ultimately allow you to scale and get the most amount of results possible, and we really let Facebook kind of use its algorithm to do the targeting. Now, contrary to what people used to believe about testing with Facebook ads or even just targeting, I don't use any demographics or any interest targeting because all of the targeting these days comes from your creative. So keep that in mind. All the targeting comes from the creative. If you've ever used ChatGPT or an AI software, it can tell the tonality of your message, who you're targeting, what you're talking about. It can really spit back lots of information after reading a certain text, and Facebook does the exact same thing, and it can read videos and images and the text that you use inside of your ad to then do the targeting. So that's why it's really important to hone in on your creative test, because that is ultimately what does the creative testing for you. So very rarely am I actually testing out any audiences. So I'm just gonna say, keep your audiences as broad as possible. So we're still inside of the testing campaign right now. Now we're opening up the testing ad set, and then we have tests that we're going to run. Now, best practice that I like to use is always have minimum 2 creatives, ideally up to 4, but between 2 and 4 creatives that you're gonna be testing. Now, and also keep in mind that these creative tests should be based on the same format. So if you're using images, test 3 different images against each other. If you're using a video, test 2 to 4 videos against each other. If you're trying out a carousel, test out 3 to 4 carousels against each other. And do that because each creative format behaves slightly differently, and we want to limit the amount of variables that we're testing. So that's another note to keep in mind. Limit the amount of variables that you're testing. So for example, let's say we're testing out 3 different videos here. I want to make sure that all these 3 videos are sort of based on the same strategy or topic. So let's say in my video, I'm really focusing on stating the problem and providing a solution. Now, each one of these videos are gonna have all of the same content inside of the videos. I might just switch up the first 3 seconds, and that would be switching up the hook. As we know, the hook is the most important part of your video, and the more that you can hook your users into watching it, the more likely they are to watch the rest of the video. So what I really like to do is test out different hooks, but of course make my body or the rest of the video content be designed to capture and keep engagement, but really trying out different hooks. And ultimately what you're gonna learn from testing out different hooks or the first 3 seconds is what caught my user's attention in the first place. You wanna have at least 2 and ideally up to 4 different variations of that creative, because if you only tested out one and it didn't perform, you might turn it off, not knowing if it's actually the full ad, the messaging, or it was just the hook. So minimum 2, always, like always 2 variations to test out, but ideally up to 4. Now inside each of these 3 different creative tests that we're doing, so these are all gonna be different videos in some way, but again, all structured around the same strategy. So inside of each of these ads, we're gonna have the option to create some primary text, some headlines, and descriptions. I would recommend, if you're making a creative test, to add 1, 2, 3 different variations of primary text, and 1, 2, 3 variations of a headline. And I do this because down here we have optimized text per person enabled. So this means that based on each and individual person, Facebook might show the primary text, the headline, and the description in a slightly different spot if they think it's going to perform best. So by providing 3 different primary texts and 3 different headlines, and description is less important, so I'd maybe just say 1 or 2 different descriptions, but description doesn't always show. But by providing 3 different primary texts and 3 different headlines, you're giving Facebook a good amount of permutations or different variations that each and every person could see. Now, if you want to analyze these 3 different primary texts and headlines in the future, all you would do is go here and use the text and headline breakdown to see which of those are performing well. And then each of these 3 different ads should have the same 3 primary texts and the same 3 headlines. So you really only need to create 3 primary texts and 3 headlines because all of these 3 ads are gonna have the same one. And again, this comes back to we wanna limit the amount of variables that we are testing. So I would recommend that you are setting this budget, the testing campaign, to at least $100 per day. And that's kind of the structure that I use for anyone who's spending above $200 per day. Now, of course, this testing budget can increase, but for this type of structure, I wouldn't go anywhere below that. And I do find, especially for like e-commerce or even lead-based companies, I'm leaning more towards that, like it's really a minimum to spend at least $100 per day across the entire account at least to really give Facebook what it needs to provide conversions for you. So that's again, more on the conversion side of things. Now let's talk about what you should do after you've launched a creative test. So first, let your creative test run for at least 5 to 7 days before you make any changes. That's because Facebook has some delayed reporting with all these data tracking issues that iOS 14 nicely provided for us. There is some delayed reporting, so that can be up to 5 days. So you might, for example, you might check a campaign and 5 days later after you've turned it off, you're getting some results because of the delayed reporting. So if you're doing a creative test, 5 to 7 days minimum before you make any decisions. Now, if you get to day 3 and absolutely nothing has happened, there's been no leads, no purchases inside of your test, at that point, I might wait till day 4 and then decide to either turn it off or try something new. But if you're getting a few purchases or the cost per lead is higher than you'd like, wait a few more days because it actually might drop as Facebook ends up getting more data. So 5 to 7 days minimum. Now, let's say, for example, ultimately, the idea of testing is that you want to see if these creative tests perform better than the ads that you have inside of your core campaign. So again, inside of this core campaign, this should be all winning creatives that you've already tested in the past. So when you're looking at these results and the reach and the cost per result and the ROAS and the CPMs inside of your core campaign, those should be benchmarks that you're using to compare against your testing ads. So let's say, for example, ad number 1, their results are similar, maybe slightly higher, which is okay because over time they might stabilize, or lower than what you have inside of your core campaign. And ad 2 and 3 are way above, or maybe ad 3 didn't even get any spend. In that case, what I would do is I would choose a winner. Sometimes there might be even 2 winners, which is fine. So let's say ad 3 absolutely did not perform well, maybe didn't get a lot of reach, no purchases whatsoever, no leads if that's what you're using. Then we have between ad 1 and 2. If it hasn't been 5 to 7 days yet, continue letting this run until you find a very clear winner. Let's say ad number 1 ends up being our very, very clear winner. What we're then gonna do is duplicate this ad into our core campaign. And we are gonna choose that same ad set that again is going to be broad. So we're testing with a broad, and we're also putting this ad into a broad audience inside of our core campaign. Then we're gonna duplicate that. You're not gonna change anything inside of this ad, and then you're gonna press the publish button. So obviously just make sure that it is named properly or that it's in the right campaign, but you're not changing anything, because as soon as you change something, you remove any engagement that was potentially on that ad, which could help performance in the future. And always remember to refresh your screen as soon as you make these changes, because things get a little bit wonky when you duplicate and to change them up. And as you can see here, I need to go back to the campaign level and then have a look at the ads again. So always refresh your screen and go back to the campaign level. Now that we've duplicated an ad that was a winning ad inside of our testing campaign into our core campaign, we're still gonna let this ad run inside of our testing campaign. We're just gonna let it sit there until either the results start to drop off or it stops getting the results that you want. And you can also, if it's getting good results, you could increase this budget. So we can scale inside of a core campaign, but I also sometimes like to scale inside of a testing campaign. So increase this budget by 15 to 20% every 3 days. And you can have this ad scale alone inside of this testing campaign while it also runs alongside the ads inside of your core campaign. So yes, they might be on at the same time. Now, when you're ready for a new creative test, you can choose to keep this on at the same time. But what you're gonna do is you're going to duplicate this ad set to create a new creative test, all right? Now, I would recommend that you do have a good naming convention. So for example, this one here, if you were testing out images, you might name this images with point out, for example. I know we talked about videos before, but it doesn't matter. And then let's say this one over here is talking about videos with girls. I don't know, for example. I'm going to name this ad set and then delete these ads inside of here. Maybe just keep one of them so you can keep the primary text and the headline from last time on your winning one. And then you can delete the other two that were not performing well and go switch up the creative inside of this new ad. So this is inside of its new ad set. There is one ad in here. You're going to add some new primary text and headlines based on the best performing ones from the last test. Then once you have an ad in there and your new primary text and new headlines, which I'd always recommend testing out new primary text and headlines with every creative test, you're gonna go ahead and quickly duplicate that. Then add your other minimum 2 creative tests and potentially even a third variation of that same video, in this case, that you're testing out. All right. So now you've had this test run before, you found a winner, you duplicate it into your core campaign, but now this one is done. The images that we tested out are done. You can turn that off and then launch this new testing ad set with these new 3 ads with 3 primary text and 3 headlines. And then you're going to rinse and repeat the same process. Once you find a winner inside of this campaign, you can then turn off the other losers, duplicate this one into your core campaign, and have the 2 run alongside each other until your testing campaign starts to die off. So when do you need to make new creative tests? Is when any ad inside of your core campaign starts to die off. As a general rule of thumb, I like to have 3 to 4 creatives that are performing well inside my core campaign at once. So let's say you have 4 ads. One stops performing well, it drops off, it's not getting the results that you want. You turn it off. Now you have 3 ads. Well, that's when you know it's time to create a new creative test. For an ad account spending about $200 per month, I'd say creative test needs to be done at least twice a month. I'd say on average, but depending on the industry and the types of creatives that you're testing, it might need to be sooner than that. But I'd say like minimum 1, but probably 2 creatives per month at the minimum. It could be more than that. There just, becomes a lot of resources and time that are spent into it. And also depending on the type of creative. So I do find that images die out a lot faster than videos do. So depending on the type of video that you're creating and I guess kind of how engaging or how well it performs, that's going to dictate how often you need to do it. But inside of your core campaign, you should have 3 to 4 good performing ads at all times. Then the question kind of becomes, what do you test? Or how do you choose what products to test? Now, if you have one product, obviously it's very easy to decide what product to test. If you have a large e-commerce store with tons of different products, I'd recommend go to your analytics and find the best selling product and promote that product. I always find it's easier to focus in on one product and create a whole strategy around it if you know what's the best selling one than to choose 15 different products and cycle through a bunch of different ones at one time, especially when you're spending about $200 per month on your ad account or even above that. I still recommend companies to hone in on one service or one product and promote it. Alternatively, you could promote a category. So let's say you sell candles and bath bombs and coloring kits, for example. In that case, I would have a look at the 3 different categories, 3 top performing categories, and let's say it's bath bombs, then I would choose to promote bath bombs. I wouldn't hone in on one single bath bomb, but in that category of bath bombs, I would then choose 3 of the best performing bath bombs to talk about inside of my ads. And again, this is just to simplify your strategy and really just make you focus in more of the creative and less on like what product to choose. So choose the best performing product or category of products. And so in your core campaign, let's say you choose 3 of your bath bombs, all of the ads are going to touch on 3 of those bath bombs, or maybe just 2 of them, maybe the whole category of bath bombs. But it's really like the imagery and like what you're focusing on is like 3 different of the best performing ones. And then inside of your tests, you're also taking your best performing category and promoting that as well. Now, let's say you're promoting your bath bombs, and then you also want to test out your candles and see if your candles are going to perform well with Facebook ads, because you've been seeing that recently they've been getting lots of purchases and you think it's worth testing. In this case, I would use this exact same structure, but for your new category. So you might have 1, 2 core testing for your bath bombs. I would also have another core and testing for your candles that you're now going to promote. So you're kind of keeping them separate. I kind of picture campaigns as having like their own little brain. So when you can keep them a little bit more kind of together, it makes your life a lot easier when you're analyzing the results. And also when it's time to create new creatives, I really find it's easier to focus in on a single product or a category of products and always make it your best selling one. And that's pretty much it for this video. I know we covered a lot. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. But if you did learn anything new today, please do hit that like button. Definitely helps us out and it helps more people like you learn how to test their Facebook ads and everything there is to know about Facebook ads. So that's it for today's video, and I will see you in the next one.